Hello and welcome to this news hour. I'm Daniel Kasahun with the news. The Minister of Foreign Affairs stated the virtual meeting of Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Water Affairs of Ethiopia, Egypt and the Sudan was held on Sunday. The meeting was convened by the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Sudan and Chairperson of the African Union Executive Council. The meeting is conducted after the failure of the three countries to continue the trilateral process in the previous week due to the absence of the Sudan. The ministers exchanged views on the continuation of the trilateral negotiation. It is to be recalled that the previous week, the delegation of Sudan insisted on having bilateral meeting with African Union assigned experts, rejecting trilateral meetings of the parties. Yet on Sunday's meeting, Sudan refused to have the bilateral meeting with the African Union assigned experts as proposed by the African Union chair, putting enhancement of the term of reference of the experts as a prerequisite, says a statement from the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Ethiopia undertook to cater for the concern of Sudan on dam safety, data exchange and other technical issues. In this respect, Ethiopia took the initiative to immediately establish an effective and reciprocal data exchange mechanism. Following this, the chairperson of the African Union Executive Council will report to the chairperson of the African Union. The Djiboutian Army Chief of Staff, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, has bestowed the country's highest military medal on his Ethiopian counterpart, General Birhanu Jula. On the award ceremony, Commander of the Ethiopian Peacekeeping Center, Lieutenant General Desta Bichi, said the medal is ordered by Djiboutian President Ismail Omar Guelleh. It is indicated on the award ceremony that General Birhanu Jula has won the highest military medal for his effective military leadership in the complete law enforcement operation in Tigray and his great contribution to peace and stability in the country and the region as well. Extending his appreciation to General Birhanu Jula, the Djiboutian Chief of Staff of the Army, the military, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, said that belligerents of the TPLF clique would have wrecked regional instability if it was not effectively thwarted by the Ethiopian National Defense Force. He also reaffirmed the commitment of the government of Djibouti to maintain the long-standing cordial partnership with Ethiopia. Chief of Staff of the Army, General Birhanu Jula, has extended gratitude to the government of Djibouti for the award, pledging to continue commitment of the Ethiopian Army for regional peace and security.
Policy Matters is a conversation platform which aims to provide reasoned analysis and context to the activities, reforms, and policies of the federal government of Ethiopia. Exploring various reforms the government is undertaking, the conversation platform aspires to enable nuanced and informed understanding.
After 2 years of work, how do you see today the impact of the policy and also the ongoing law, and what kind of changes are now being achieved or in the process of being implemented?
I think the change is huge, and it starts with the commitment of the government. The government has been very serious, and my Prime Minister has been very clear and consistent with the freedom that the media needs to be granted. The media deserved that sort of, they needed it, they deserved that sort of freedom for them to be able to, in a meaningful way, play their role in the process of democratization in general.
How do you see the restructuring also in comparative?
A government is ready to let it go and then lead the industry by itself. And this is a very important step.
Welcome back. You are watching Addis News Hour. The hunt for veteran TPLF leaders is resulting in surrender and deaths of the TPLF group. Some of them are shot dead while trying to escape, and the others have surrendered to the Ethiopian Defense and Federal Police Forces. The mastermind behind the destructive strategy of the TPLF group, Sabat Naga, and other 8 leaders of the group were captured. We have more on that. According to the Ethiopian National Defense Force, the mastermind behind the disparaging strategy of TPLF group that created havoc during the last 27 years in Ethiopia and finally opened bloody war by massacring the Ethiopian army, Sibhat Naga and other leaders of the TPLF group have been captured. He was captured hiding in a valley extremely difficult to reach, and members of the destructive force carried him into the deep and narrow gorge with steep sides. Perpetrators, including the head of ringleaders of the TPLF group, Sibhat Naga, have been arrested by the National Defense Force and the Federal Police of Ethiopia. Those guarding the junta leadership had also been destroyed. The Ethiopian National Defense Force Deployment Department head, Brigadier General Tasfayan Yaliu, told ENA that the group has been captured in hideout situation and hostile strip difficult to trace. The hideout of Sibhat Naga has been discovered by a close raid undertaking jointly by the Federal Police and the National Defense Force Army.
As we promised, the gallant intelligent National Defense Force, in collaboration with other security institutions, has made vast exploration of the desert, valleys and mountains of Tamben to discover the hideouts of the hiding TPLF clique ringleaders. The group was not welcomed by the people of Tigray. The status in which the group expected is not its rightful place. There is a mismatch between what the junta wished to have and the real existing situation on the ground.
Bodyguards were escorting the TPLF group ringleaders, including Sibhat Naga, have been killed by the National Army while defending their bosses. Totally, 5 culprits, including the head of the TPLF group, Sibhat Naga, has been captured. Accordingly, Sibhat Naga, the head and strategist of the TPLF group, Lieutenant Colonel Taadu Rich, wife of Sibhat Naga, retired physician in the Army Hospital, Colonel Kanfa Taddesa, who betrayed the National Army, Colonel Yamana Kasai, who also betrayed the National Army, Asagid Gebrekristos, who joined the TPLF group from inland, have been arrested. Alganish Mallas, who was wife of Major General Hayelo Maraya and joined the TPLF group from the United States, where she was living for many years, has died falling down to ground from a top place while trying to escape the manhunt. In a latest development, other members of the TPLF group who were masterminders of the 3 terrorist attack on the North Command have been under control yesterday. Abay Woldu, former Tigray State President, Abraham Tekeste, former Tigray State Deputy President, Radai Berehe, head of State's Audit Bureau, are some of them. The Ethiopian National Defense Force and the Federal Police have taken measures against some generals who betrayed the National Defense Force of Ethiopia and joined the TPLF clique. You are watching Addis News Hour. As Ethiopia presses ahead with the reforms, the argument for and against constitutional amendment persists to this day. Experts suggest setting a new playing field than going to the predictable amendment process. The Ethiopian Constitution under Article 104 and 105 sets forth amending clauses for formal constitutional changes that set procedures to be observed in the process of constitutional amendments, both initiation and approval. Emmanuel Jorge has more.
The Ethiopian constitution has been a source of endless debate and deliberation since its introduction back in 1995. A study published by Afrobarometer, a Pan-African and partisan survey research network operating in Africa, shows that constitutional amendments are favored by most Ethiopians. Also concerning amendment issues, many claim that Ethiopian constitution is one of the most rigid constitutions in the world. Legal expert Theodros Getachew agrees with this claim and said let alone amending, initiating is very rigorous and difficult task.
Those people who are saying the Ethiopian constitution is rigid to amend, they have some kind of truth. They have some kind of truth. Not only the amendment. Starting from the initiation of the amendment, it's really rigid, we can say. Of course, a constitution cannot be amended easily. That's a global practice, not only in Ethiopia. But the Ethiopian case scenario is a little bit somehow tight. For example, if someone wants to initiate, not only amend, but to initiate the amendment, to initiate the proposal even, you have to secure 2/3 vote of the House of People's Representatives, according to 104 of the F3 Constitution. Or you should optionally you should secure 2/3 vote of the House of Federation, or 1/3 of the state councils, all the state councils.
He added that the procedural requirements are very rigid to the extent of making the constitution impossible to amend.
When we come to the amendment procedure, we have two kinds of procedures according to the 1987 F3 Constitution. One is the amendment procedure which have been designed for the Chapter 3 of the Constitution. This Chapter 3 of the Constitution is stating about fundamental human and democratic rights. So to amend that Chapter 3, it's almost impossible. Those procedures we have already put it in the Constitution are almost makes it impossible, because you have to secure majority vote in all state members of the Federation. You have to secure 2/3 vote of the House of People's Representatives, that is a lawmaker. Generally, we can agree that the Ethiopian constitution is one of the rigid constitutions in the world, not to amend also, but to initiate the proposal also.
Theodros suggested setting a new playing field that can lead to a new draft constitution in collaboration with all stakes rather than starting over the amendment procedure.
I prefer there should be a very high level of political commitment from all sides. So instead of playing with this kind of very rigid constitutional amendment, it's better to think of making a new constitution, designing a new constitution by consulting all the concerned bodies and the people of Ethiopia.
The FDRE constitution encompasses a constitutional provision that spells out how the constitution can be amended. However, there has not yet been a single formal constitutional amendment. There have been instances of actual but unwritten constitutional changes in the course of application that have been occurring in Ethiopia, for which formal constitutional amendment cannot account for.
That was a report by Emmanuel Jorge. Moving to the other news. The Ethiopian Diaspora Agency announces that it has provided over 100 million birr humanitarian assistance for the needy displaced peoples during the law enforcement operation in Tigray state and in other places of Ethiopia due to various reasons. The agency noted that they have contributed 76 million birr for the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in the first 6 months of the current Ethiopian fiscal year. Here again is Emmanuel Jorge for the details.
The Ethiopian diaspora has provided over 100 million birr humanitarian assistance to the needy peoples due to many reasons in various parts of Ethiopia. Ethiopian Diaspora Agency Director General Salamawi Dawit said a subcommittee led by the agency has been established to mobilize support for the needy in various parts of Ethiopia.
We started this work of supporting the needy people who are displaced during the law enforcement operation in Tigray region and of security problems in some other parts of Ethiopia. This is a very important task we engaged in and were pushed by the diaspora to undertake. Therefore, we have also opened up the diasporas eager to support these people. Accordingly, we, the diaspora, have contributed until this time about 100.7 million birr both in kind and in cash.
According to Salamawi, the swift response of the diaspora within such a short period of time demonstrates their patriotism. In addition to the humanitarian assistance, the diaspora have made a significant contribution by enlightening the international community about the law enforcement operation in Tigray regional state. On the other hand, the diaspora have provided 76 million birr for the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam during the first 6 months of the current fiscal year.
Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam has created a great deal of motivation among the diaspora. Especially after the water filling of the dam, the support has become very encouraging. Therefore, we have been working with special plan to use this as a good opportunity. So far, we have contributed 76 million birr to the construction of the dam.
Salamawit pointed out that the agency has planned to collect 200 million birr from the diaspora for the construction of the GERD this Ethiopian fiscal year. The Director General also disclosed that the diaspora have made over 16 million birr contribution to the Dine for Nation project. The plan is to raise 50 million birr for the project during this Ethiopian fiscal year, according to INA.
Financial Intelligence Center announces that crime is being reduced as a result of the transfer of money through the integrated financial system. Some foreigners are also believed to have been involved in the crime of printing fake news of fake new currency notes.
It is to be recalled that Ethiopia has unveiled new birr notes for 10, 50 and 100 denominations with the introduction of a new 200 birr note for the first time on September 2020. Head of Financial Intelligence Center's monitoring team, Mulugeta Temasgen, told INA that the new note played a significant role to curb illegal financing activities, corruption and contraband. Following the new currency note, integrated financial system has been implemented. As a result of the transfer of any money through the financial system, the crime that has been committed, illicit money, is being reduced.
Significant amount of money transferred to the banking system. The existence of cash transaction or exchange helps to make crime easier. Cash easily transferred from one person to another, and perpetrators possibly delete the source of the information. The integrated financial system helped the investigators to reduce criminal activities, and if the crime is committed, the concerned body can easily access from the system and bring perpetrators before the law.
አንድ እንዳይፈጸሙ ሁለት ከተፈጸሙ ደግሞ የመርማሪው አካልና የተለያየ በዚህ ስርዓት ውስጥ ወንጀሉን የሚከታተል አካል በቀላሉ መረጃዎችን አግኝቶ
Mulugeta said foreign citizens have also been involved in the crime of printing fake news currency notes.
ወንጀሎቹ የተሰሩት ከውጭ ሀገርና ከሀገር ውስጥ
Foreign citizens were involved in printing fake new currency notes. We have seen the active involvement of Black Africans in the crime printing pensions in collaboration with Ethiopians. Ethiopian Immigration and Nationality Agency should closely monitor the identities of foreigners for what purpose they come to Ethiopia. Large amount of money has been distributed in a country for political purpose. At the beginning of the new note change, they have tried to disrupt the exchange by distributing fake notes.
The National Bank of Ethiopia issued directives not to withdraw more than 200,000 birr per day for individuals and 300,000 birr for companies, it was noted. Accordingly, holding more than 1.5 million birr outside the bank is labeled and banned. The new birr note in Ethiopia was changed 23 years later.